Hi, yeah, welcome to the Ad Mastery Bootcamp. This class is for business owners, students, or for digital marketers seeking side hustles. It is designed to help you master how to run ads and the secret behind successful ad performance and quite everything that could help you to achieve that aim, as well as creating a business website for you. So some of your benefits in this class includes the following. Okay, so we are going to be touching on pillars of successful business online and quite a number of things that could help you to be successful online. So to start with, the pillars of a successful business online include two things, and the first thing is actually value creation. Before you go into digital marketing, first you should create your values, which is the first thing to do before you actually start doing online marketing. And every value that will scale online must first be refined, which means it should be something exceptional. um, Also, it should be something that a lot of people would need, and as well, it should not be anything that is easily accessible in localities. For instance, you don't go online to sell toothpick or just anything that people can prefer to just buy easily around them. So the next thing you need is visibility. No matter what you do, if people don't know that your business is in existence, then you can't fly. Okay, so no matter how refined, how valuable your services are, visibility is needed. Okay, and digital marketing will give you visibility, but it is on you to create values that people really want. So spend time on value creation before going for visibility. And in addition to all of these, you need God's favor. Okay, beyond your favor, beyond your effort, there is a place of God's favor in addition to it. So don't just do things on your own, seek God to guiding you. Now let's go into how ads work. Now, this part is quite very important because a lot of classes you see online will only take you on how to just run ads. Okay, but yeah, you can know how to run ads, but it doesn't mean that you will make a profit from your ads. It doesn't really mean that you have conversion. Okay, so don't waste your money on running ads without really knowing how things work. All right, how ad work is actually the secret behind a high performing ad, and that's what we are going to teach you. All right, the first thing to know when you are going into digital marketing is that you must be able to think like a digital marketer. Okay, so that goes a long way to really help you. So, and that will really help you to see what you are actually doing when running ads. So a digital marketer thinks this way, that digital marketing is like an hawker going around seeking people and compelling them to buy. This is a contemporary thing to do, like just your normal business stuff. People go around and you try to convince them to buy and all. All right, you can actually translate that into what goes on in digital marketing. So let's look at it. The first thing there is the hawker, which means the guy that actually go around, seeking people. So in the digital space, the hawker is actually your creative content, is your representative online, is your face online. So if your hawker misrepresents you, you'll be misrepresented. So your hawker should be saying things that you want him or her to say. All right, so the seeking there, that is when you go around looking for people, that is what ad sponsorship does. Okay, and the ad sponsorship, you know, get your creative content before your target audiences. That is basically what your ad creative does. It simply gets your creative content before your audiences. But if your content stays or meet up with your target audiences and is not saying the right thing, that is, it is not compelling them, then you won't get the right results, right? So at the point of compelling, which is the content of your message, you must be saying the right thing. CTAD refers to call to action. You must be really compelling them, making a demand of them. And that is the only way that you can actually make conversion, that is, make sales or get leads. So in this, you see, we have really translated what actually happened in the real sense into what happens in the digital space. All right. So like I made mention earlier, that your creative content simply gets you, your creative content gets to your target audiences through your ad. That is simply what ads does. All right. So, but if you don't know the other things that happen behind ads, you won't be able to move across to compelling and even to conversion. And that's what we are about to teach you. So make sure you spend enough time crafting the messaging of your content, and so that your content can actually be able to convert your audiences when you run adverts. Okay. Now, when you actually run adverts and your OKA actually gets before your target audiences, one of three things could happen. Your content may actually be saying nothing, right? Or it could be saying irrelevant things. Now, if any of these happens, then your content, your ad is going to be a waste of time, a waste of money. Okay. So, but when your content, that is your OKA, is saying the right thing, that is, it's compelling your customers, then there's a possibility that they are going to become converted customers. All right. And that takes us into the phases of ads. Okay. So when you run ads, what actually happens behind the scene? Okay. That's what we want to look at, and what you must not do, and of course, things to do. So like we said earlier, that creative content is actually your representative online. All right. So actually, the first phase of running ads is your creative content. All right. Craft your message well. You have to master content creation. Okay. And of course, we are going to touch on content creation later on in this video. So the first phase for every ad is actually your creative content, and that is, in fact, the most important phase of running ads. All right. Now, when you finish up creating your content, then you can now go into running your ads. And as soon as you finish all the settings and you publish your ad, immediately it goes into a review phase. The review phase is the point where the algorithm of the platform on which you are running your ads try to check if you meet all their policies, if you are not breaking any rules, and then they approve your ad, and then it becomes active. Active means that, okay, now it is ready to begin to search for customers. Now, after the active phase, your ad goes into what is called the learning phase. The learning phase is the point where the algorithm now begins to try to understand who your advert is really meant for. Who are the people that are likely to be your customers, and such that when they relate with this particular ad, they can convert. Okay, so the learning phase is a phase where you may not actually get the results that you are looking for within this period, and it may last between 24 to 48 hours or more, depending on your budget and of course the saturation of that particular business or your niche. Okay, so whatever happens, whether you feel your ad is performing or not, within the space of 24 to 48 hours, don't make any change. Don't adjust your ad, because when you do, you will be re-entering the learning phase, and that will hurt your performance. So you don't know yet if your ad is performing or not until after 24 to 48 hours. Okay, but if your budget is low, that time space for the algorithm to learn who your audience is or your customers really are may actually take a longer time, and that is why it's good to do a good budget. Okay, don't spend too small. Now, after the learning phase, that is, now the system now understand who your customers are and is now targeting them. It doesn't stop there. Okay, so that people are interested in your ads, they feel, oh, this business is for me, I like what they do, I want to patronize you, does not mean that, yeah, they will eventually patronize you, because at that point they don't even know you, they don't trust you. All right, you still need to work on them, and which is one of the first point, that the first interactive that your audiences have, of course, is still that you're creative. All right, so your creative must give them the right message, you must give them the right enlightenment, and basically everything they should know. And then the next thing is where these customers get ended up on, all right, which is your landing page. All right, so when your landing page is more like your packaging, okay, so when your content creative has been able to convince your customers to say, oh, this is what I do, I can offer you this and all of that, and they are willing to buy, then they look at what you offer and they see that, oh, your packaging is poor, which is more like your landing page, they will be discouraged. All right, so even though your ad is giving you the right customers, you may end up not converting them. So at this point, your landing page, you could use, instant form, your website, you could use quite a number of platforms to help you convert properly. And of course, in this course, we are going to teach you on building a website for your business. So next is the ease of engagement. Okay, make sure, I won't spend too much on this, you make sure it's quite easy for people to engage with your business. It shouldn't be something too technical, something too strenuous. All right, when it becomes too difficult for people to probably get to you, interact with you, along the line they get discouraged. And so even if they were initially willing to buy, they could just disengage. All right, so make it easy for people to engage. Then your response time. All right, so when people reach out to you, maybe through WhatsApp, don't waste time to respond. Don't spend all the time, don't do it in your own, just in your comfort. Respond as quickly as possible. When you receive messages on your WhatsApp, if that is your landing page, or through your website, whatever platform you are using to receive messages from your customers, respond to them on time, because their attention has a lifespan. Okay, so their interest also has a lifespan. If you stay too long, they just lose interest, or already they have someone engaging them on the same offer that you give. All right, then the last part is remarketing. Right, now the aspect of remarketing is this. You see, when you run ads, of course there are people that are at that moment, they are interested in your business, but they may not have the time, they may not have the resources, they may have all manner of limitations at that time to really engage with your business and patronize you. Okay, so but that is why it is important that you collect their data, okay, at that first point of interacting with your business, which is why instant form is quite very important. Okay, so those data you collected at that first point, you see, you can use it to remarket them, which means subsequently you just send them a mail, send them a WhatsApp message about, okay, what you have going on right now. Maybe you are starting a new phase of your course or something. Okay, so for that kind of marketing, you are not paying, because you already have them in your list. Okay, now that leads us to the sales funnel. Now, all of these processes that gets to making your customers buy from you is called a sales funnel. All right, and the first point is awareness. Okay, people can't buy from you, like I said earlier, if they are not aware that you exist. Okay, so when you run ads, it of course presents you before your customers, so they are aware, right? But that they are aware about you does not mean they are just going to buy. Okay, they want to consider, they want to be convinced, they want to be sure if you can truly offer what you say you offer. All right, that is the point of consideration. And then the final phase is a point when you now convert them. Okay, though the sales funnel may go beyond this, okay, but as far as running ads is concerned, this can stop here. But you see, after conversion, there is a point where you now talk about the loyalty phase. That's a part where they keep coming because they are satisfied with the offer you gave to them. All right. And then you have the point when they now begin to help you market your business. The sales funnel, can go that far, but for the sake of this class, we'll just stop at this at conversion, right? So, relating the sales funnel to the guy on the street, the online marketing and the traditional marketing of someone going around, you see the process of hawking, and seeking people so that they can know that, oh, this is what I do. That is a part of awareness. All right. Then when you appear as an hawker before people, okay, of course, through your art now, which is the seeking, and your hawker appear before people, you've got to compel them, tell them stuffs, tell them the benefit of your offering. Okay. Then they are now going, oh, they can consider your business and all of that. Okay. And that can lead to them buying. Now, moving on from sales funnel, your landing page is quite very important. Okay. Which is what we mentioned earlier at the point of optimization. Your landing page is very important. This is the part where you nurture people. It's your consideration platform, right? Okay, so to create a landing page, you could use WhatsApp directly. You could use the URL link below. Just change the phone number with yours. Okay, of course, preferably you should use your country code in place of the initial 0 there. That is this initial 0. You should use your country code. Just use it as you see it on the screen. So you could use the WhatsApp URL on the screen and just use your phone number in place of the numbers you have here, and then you can send it to anyone, put it on your website, put it anywhere, and even those people that don't have your phone number can directly WhatsApp you online, okay, from anywhere. And then you could create a website, which is what we are going to be doing in this class. And you could use Seller. Yeah, knowing that the landing page is quite important, we are going to be using the system.io to create a website that you can use for your business. Okay, so let's just dive right in. All right, so by now you are able to set up your free website to display your product and businesses online. So of course, let's go into content creation strategies. Now, like we said, I've always emphasized that content is king online. Before you start the process of marketing online, start first with content. Master your content. Put your content in order before you go online to sponsor. Because if your content is not speaking well, if your content is not representing you well, you will spend and waste money on ad. Okay, so work on your content before you go into before you go into ad sponsorship. And there are several components that your content should have if it's really going to market you well. All right, the first thing is grace. By grace, I mean how you say what you say in your content. All right, your messaging is quite the central point. Okay, it is the central point. Your content can be engaging and all, but if you are not passing the right message, then it won't give you the results you needed. Okay, so grace is talking about how you say what you say. You see, how you say what you say is as important as what you actually say. And it determines if what you say will fly or not. Okay, and that goes on to cover the appearance of your video, the qualities of your audio, and the rest. Okay, but talking about that, in every content, prioritize the audio quality more over the video quality. Okay, people can actually bear with poor video quality than they can bear with bad audio quality. Okay, so you can actually have a good messaging, you can be saying the right thing, but your audio quality can be obnoxious and it may just get people off even before you land. Okay, because if your quality is too poor, then I'll sure that your offering won't be poor as well. All right, so And that is for video. But in terms of graphic, you should consider your proportion and emphasis. We are going to look at a practical example in this case. Of course, we are going to put all of this. We are going to see how to create a video that works as well as a graphics that works. So when you're creating a graphic, that is maybe flyers and the rest, your proportion and emphasis is quite important. A lot of people don't do well on this. So they create flyers and you don't even know where to place your eyes. You don't know you don't know what to read per time. Everything is just lumped up somehow. Okay. Now, the next thing that your content should contain is credibility. Credibility is a part of your content that gives proof, that shows that you do this a lot. It is what you do. You know what you're doing. Okay, that's credibility. It's more of you in what you do. Okay, so when in your content there should be that aspect that shows proof, that shows validations, that shows that you are good at what you do. All right, so you give proof to people. And then lastly, resonance. Your content should make people feel a certain way. Okay, people should not feel numb when they watch your content, and that is why you must be able to strike the emotions of people, maybe make them laugh, educate them, make them feel a certain way. All right, when you can't make people feel a certain way, your content may not actually fly. All right, so these are the basic strategies that I work with. There's quite a number of them that make things complex, but this is quite simple. And if you follow this, you will have captured quite the other stuffs. All right, so going into graphics, I'll just touch primarily on two principles of graphic design. And like I made mention earlier, we are going to look at proportion and emphasis. All right, now for every content or every graphical content you make, you should give attention to proportion. All right, anything at all that you want people to give more first attention to, give it a bigger proportion. Now let's take for instance, by nature, the man here on black, it's several times bigger than the hen. But in this particular graphic work, you can see that the hen is way bigger than the man. And the effect of that is that in this particular image, you are likely to, first of all, take note of the hen before you actually see the man. And in the context of the text also, you are likely to read the word proportion before you read principles of graphic design. All right, so every aspect of your graphic work that you want people to pay more attention to, give it a bigger proportion, and then others that you want them to now give a lesser attention, give it a lesser proportion, and on and so on. Okay, now let's look at an example of proportion and emphasis, how it works. Now if you look at this next graphics, you see the word proportion. Now on this graphics, I can tell the order to which you are going to read this particular flyer. All right, so number one, you are most likely to read the word proportion first, the word proportion, then your eye moves to principles of design, then later to the content here. And while reading the content, there is an emphasis with the use of colors here. All right, so while reading these write-ups, you see places where color differentiation helps you to give more attention to those parts. Those are emphasis. Okay, so take note of how to use proportion, which is size, and maybe color and all to give emphasis to parts of your content that you want people to pay attention to. So let's look at an error in some people's work. Now look at this is a very bad work. You see, there is literally no proportion. You don't know where to place your eyes. Why? The primary error in this work is because there's no real proportion and there is no emphasis. All right. Basically, Well, to some extent, the word arm first gave some level of emphasis. Why? Because it appears to be the biggest, as well with the color red, even though color red appears in other places, but it's the biggest. But then when it has more proportion rather. But when you read the word arm first, yet you can't tell what this flyer is standing for. All right. So yes, there is an emphasis on arm first, but I can read arm first, but don't even know what this flyer is all about. But if I were the creator of this flyer, I will have placed more emphasis on this Pennington Folk Music Festival. Alright, that simple phrase gives a clear insight as to what this flyer is about. It's a music festival. It's for a music festival. So let's move to content frameworks, and this focuses on how to create a video content. Okay, now there are several frameworks to use for a video content, and one of them is the AIDA framework, and the AIDA stands for attention grabbing. And yeah, you see, if you can't grab attention, people won't stay on your video. Okay, and if you run ads and people don't stay to watch, what that means is that they don't have interest in your content, even though maybe later on you have good things to say that could actually be of a benefit to them. But at the beginning, you must be able to capture attention. And the way to capture attention is to tap into emotion. Okay, so you can laugh, you can do something unusual, you can appear sad, you can, play, jump, take a posture that is funny. You should be able to just, make people think or feel certain ways at the beginning of your video. That way you can hold their attention. And then to keep their attention in place, you must be able to keep interest. And that is the I of our framework, interest. And how do you keep interest? You share proofs. Okay, proofs of your offer. Oh, this for my offer, this is what it does. You show it doing it. You can pick the testimonials of people. You can say fact, make a fact statement, give your offer and all. These are how you keep the interest of people. Then, okay, of course, I'm going to show an example of how these frameworks actually work. Now, desire is a point where you want to make people see why they need your services and products. Basically, that is what you do. And how do you kick off desire is, one, you should be able to call out your audiences. Call them out by name. For instance, you can say let me give an example. You can say, oh, this product or services is meant for business owners, is meant for students, is meant for you if you are at age so. So you see, you are calling out your audience. Now, when you call out your audience, anybody that falls into that particular group, they are likely to, stay a bit and feel like, okay, this person is talking about me. What is he talking about? And then you can now name issues or problems that people have, and then you provide solution. Now, when you highlight the problems of people, when those that have that problem, they are likely to also wait and listen to you. Okay, if they have a problem and you are offering a solution, of course they will desire the solution because it's a problem they have, right? So you should be able to do all of this to keep their desire. And then lastly, you give a call to action. Okay, now they know they have a problem. Now they know that you offer a solution. Then what next? You should get them to make a decision at that time, at that moment. Okay, so by making a demand, you can say, oh, buy now, register now, order now, call now, learn more, and all of that. So those are call to action. And in this case, let's look at a practical example for this particular framework. You're welcome. So this video gives a practical example of what I've been discussing so far about content framework. Okay, and the first thing I will be doing is to grab attention. And the way I did that is by tapping into an emotion. I said something, funny, and it actually broke me into laughing myself. And also, if you look at the screen, you see like an emoji there of, that stuff, laughing and then pointing at the caption, my brain. You get, those are meant to strike an emotion. So watch.
It was established that electric vehicle.
Right. So you see that was trying to grab emotion. Then the next thing is to show a proof. All right. I made a proof statement by saying, oh, I've been doing digital marketing. And then I also make a fact statement by saying, okay, with ad sponsorship, with a website, you can make massive sales. Right. That was meant to keep the interest of people. So watch.
Well, that was me creating a marketing content for an automobile company in Lagos. You need to know this, that a mix of ad sponsorship, free website to display your business or products, as well as AI optimization can actually be used to get massive sales with hundreds of thousands in revenue. With my years of experience in digital marketing and training, I'm putting this training together to help you generate revenue, whether you're a business owner, a student, or someone seeking to earn a minimum living of 100 to 200,000 naira per month. This is a gold mine training for you, because we will not only teach you how to create free websites to display your business, how to run ads, and how to use AI to optimize your ads. We will also show you how to use these skills to make money online.
Now, all right. So all of that. Now, the framework is something that is not necessarily a linear thing. It's something you do repeatedly, and so on. So let's watch.
In few seconds, let me scratch some of your take home in this training.
All right. So right now, I also want to re-emphasize on building the desires of people. Okay. So now I'm going to be listing problem solutions, okay, that I offer. All right. So for people that actually have some of those problems, they are going to be, relating and be like, oh, I want this. I want this. Yeah.
Aside from learning how to run ads, you also learn how ads work, which is actually the secret behind high-performing ads. Also, you learn strategies for creating high-performing content. You see, in my experience, the biggest failure for poor-performing ads is poor marketing content. When your content is poor, you can spend all you want and tweak the settings of your ads. It will be a waste of time and resources. It takes strategies, time, and work to actually create a good marketing content. And most marketers don't want to do the job. So if you can put in the work, you are going to stand out. And trust me, we are going to put you through step by step. Another gold mine in this training is interpretation of metrics. A lot of people can't actually explain why their ads are not performing. But metrics are not there for fun. Actually, metrics are data-oriented feedbacks that tells all the stories about your ads. So if you can interpret your metrics, you can actually boost the performance of your ads to generate even more revenue. There is quite a lot for you in this training.
All right, so I've done quite a number of things, repeated the process of keeping interest and showing proofs, made fact statements and all. And at the end of the day, I'm about to actually call them to action. So people are likely to watch this and like it, love it. Oh, this is for me. And they don't even remember to say, oh, let me register for the class. All right. So always remember to call them to action.
And I don't even want to bore you right now with how you're going to be using this training to start earning on your own. Okay. So I strongly advise that you click the link below to join the class, and then we'll meet in class.
Right. So that is that for content framework. So now we go into Facebook workflow. That is the meta ad workflow, where we actually create the ad itself. Okay. So, but the first thing to do before running ad is that you set up the proper structure. Okay. And to do that, go to business.facebook.com, and of course you can set up your account, your business suite account, and the first thing to do is to set up your Facebook page. We are going to put you through. Then your Instagram page should be added to that to your portfolio. Then you will create an ad account. You have to make payment method. You set it. Of course, your instant form should be created, and then people, which means the people that could run your platform, your business portfolio. Now, well, it should be ordinarily that because you are the owner of your business platform, your Meta Business Suite, you should have full control, but it doesn't work like that. Okay, so even though it is your own, you still have to grant yourself full access. So that's how it works, full access. So let's go into running ads properly from scratch.